Hello, what's up guys? Welcome back to another DevPro Duel video. My name is Antimatter, and first and foremost I would like to thank everyone who subscribed to my channel over the past month or so. I finally hit 100 subscribers, which is a nice milestone, seeing as I just started. But yeah, today we're looking at Raidraptors as a deck. This was the vast majority in the votes that I asked for in my last video. So I've gone ahead and made my first build of it. I have made some minor edits as I've been doing testing, but this is what I've ended up with at the moment. Let me just go through the deck list and then I'll explain some choices for what I've made. So first off, we run 3 Tribute Laniuses. Tribute Lanius is probably one of the best Raidraptors in the deck in my opinion. It is a free dump from the deck. It's Armageddon Knight. It's like Copernicus in DDDs basically. So you can dump Mimicry Lanius and then use Mimicry Lanius's effect to grab Nest or grab Raidraptor Readiness or grab a level 4 that you need to special summon. So yeah, he's all around really good. I run 1 Sharp Lanius. I only run 1 because you don't want to draw him on the first turn at all, and he's really easily searchable in the deck. So he's only really good when you want something in the graveyard to be revived, for example Vanishing or Tribute Lanius, usually. Occasionally you'll get back Last Strix or Necrovulture depending on your setups. But yeah, I run 1 Sharp at the moment. Next, 3 Vanishing Lanius, free summon from the hand, free rank 4, pretty generic, but I like it, so I'm running it at 3 at the moment. At one point I was considering cutting it down to 2 because I seem to draw it a lot, but I think 3 is the sweet spot still. Next up, 3 Mimicry Lanius, the searcher of the deck. There's no way you wouldn't run 3 of the search card in your deck, so that's why this is here. He has another effect where he can make monsters level 5, but that very rarely comes into play, so I don't run many rank 5s as you can see down here. It's usually rank 4s and 6s, aside from like the rank up targets. I run 1 Necrovulture. For the simple reason of A, it's really searchable, so I don't need to run more than 1. But I don't see a lot of people run it, and I seem to like it. I was actually suggested by one of my friends to run it because I originally wasn't running it, and when I started running it, I noticed immediately that I got to rank up a lot more because all you need is 1 of your rank ups to hit the graveyard, any one of them to hit the graveyard, and this guy becomes live, and it means that I don't have to wait to draw into Skip Force or Soul Shave Force. I can just tribute him off and get the 1 back that I used, so that's very, very nice. So you can set up multiple rank up plays in a turn, or set up for next turn to do another rank up play with Soul Shave Force by tributing off a Strix you have. So yeah, I run the 1 Necrovulture. It's not so many people's taste because it's a little bit slow, and it does restrict you into summoning only with rank up spells till the end of the turn, but you can do it like at the end of a combo and then that doesn't really matter. So next up we run Fuzzy Lanius at 3. That's because it's a free special summon level 4 and it searches itself when it's sent to the graveyard, so it's great fodder for things like Swallow's Nest or Twin Twister as well, because you can discard it and mitigate the cost, or tribute it and then get a Raidraptor you need and then get the search so you can summon it again next turn. But all around, he's a very good card. He basically adds to the search potential of the deck, so you can go plus on the first turn. Next up we run 1 Singing Lanius. It's very searchable and it's a free special summon. I wouldn't run more than 1 because you need an XE monster already on the field, so you don't really want to open with it per se unless you can already make a rank 4 on the first turn. And you can easily search it if you do make a rank 4 on the first turn because Strix can search it, so you only need 1. I run 2 Maxi. I'm running it as a preference choice just because I feel that Raidraptors is a little bit slow in comparison to a lot of the decks out there in the meta right now. And Maxi helps draw into your rank up magics once you've got the Strix engine going, so you can thin out your deck with Tribute and Fuzzy and Strix, and then have more chance to draw into your spells and traps that blow out like Notices and Skip Forces and stuff. So I'm running 2 Maxi for that reason. Next up we run 1 Pain Lanius. Again, it's searchable via Nest and it's searchable via Mimicry Lanius. And it can become any level, but usually you'll be picking level 4. I like to combo it with Singing Lanius, so that you can get a second Strix off on the first turn, which is really nice. But other than that, I just run him at 1 because he's nice to have when you want to make multiple rank 4s in a turn and you run out of fuzzy Laniuses or singing Laniuses to use. So yeah, I run 1 of him. And then I run 1 Lastrix. Now this is the card that makes a lot of players' decks. They like to focus on the whole tribute Strix, make Satellite Cannon, rank it up to Ultimate Falcon, or make Ultimate Falcon and rank it up to Seven Sins. But I don't like to run it at more than 1. Reason being is it can be dead if you draw it in multiples, and it's easily searchable in the same way as Pain Lanius is via Nest and via Mimicry Lanius. And on the first turn, although setting up for Ultimate Falcon is really nice, I would rather set up double Strix and get lots of searches and thin out my deck first, and then go for last Strix later on the next turn maybe. So I only run him at 1 because he's easily searchable and he's easily retrievable from the graveyard as well with things like Nest. So you only really need 1. Any more than that kind of just clogs. So I'm running it at 1. Next up, I run 2 Soulshave Force. You don't want to run 3 because you don't want to open with it, but you do want to run 2 because it's one of our best rank up spells in the game. And after the first turn, generally, they've ran over a 4 Strix usually, or destroyed a 4 Strix somehow, so you always have a target to rank up into infinity. There's actually a little loop you have with Beatrice that I'm going to go into later, once I get to Beatrice in the extra deck, but I'll show you that later. This rank up Raid Force is mainly for the Beatrice combo, so I'll let you know about Raid Force as well later on when I get to Beatrice. But another use for it is to rank up into Blaze Falcon if it's needed, but that's very rare. I run 3 Skip Force. Originally I was running 2, and then my friend told me to try out 3 just to see if I can draw it more often, because I didn't seem to draw it very often. And now I run 3, I realised that 3 is the definite number you should be running. You can rank up Strix into Revolution Falcon, and you can rank up anything that Strix summons, like Satellite Cannon, into Ultimate Falcon, or the Revolution Falcon into Satellite Cannon Falcon. So it's probably the best rank up in our deck. Outside of Shave Force, I do like Shave Force a lot more. I know that this gives you Ultimate Falcon. Ultimate Falcon is Towers 2.0 or whatever, but I do like getting out an Infinity a lot as well. And this Soul Shave Force along with Beatrice opens up so many OTK potentials in the deck. It's unreal. Next up, Double Twin Twister. We're in a Pendulum and back row heavy format with Solemns everywhere, so that's staple. Swallow's Nest. This is for if you really draw a suboptimal hand, or if you draw a good hand, it allows you to make 3 Force Strikes on the first turn, which is really nice because you have all the search potential and all the deck thinning to go on. I like it if I draw into Mimicry, I'll normal summon the Mimicry and then I'll Swallow's Nest it away so I can get its effect and summon something else that I might need later on. So I run 2. I wouldn't run 3 because it kind of clogs if you draw multiples, so I run 2 for that reason. And next I run 2 Nest. That's pretty standard. You wouldn't run 3 because it can clog, but you don't want to run 1 in case it gets destroyed, so 2's the sweet spot there. If both get destroyed, no biggie, you can just live without it. You can get loads of searches with Strix, and you'll have an Ultimate Falcon probably by that point, so only 2's really needed. Next up I run 1 Readiness. Originally I didn't run it, and then I tried it out, and it saved my bacon so many times that it's warranted a place in the deck. There's also times where there's not anything I really want to search with Mimicry, and this is giving me another target for Mimicry so that I can save my monsters in battle. If, for example, they max C when I summon for 4 Strix, I can just search, or when I summon Tribute and I dump Mimicry and then I summon Fuzzy. If they chain max C to Fuzzy and they get a draw, then I won't exceed. I'll just use Mimicry and search for Readiness and set Readiness so that next turn I'll still have my monsters on the field and I won't take any damage if they do go for an OTK. So I can still have the setup for the next turn, so I can then overlay and not be under max C and give them draws, which is actually really good. So it's a tech choice. Not many people like to run it because it's a battle trap really, but it has saved my ass a lot, so I run it. Next up, 1 Bottomless Trapple. Pendulum format, staple, you understand. Same for Vanity's Emptiness. It stops a lot of plays, especially once you've set up with your Ultimate Falcon. Like, your opponent can't do anything usually. I mean, like, they can obviously Twin Twister you and get rid of it, but I mean, it can lock them down if they don't have that. Same for 3 Notice and the Warning. These 4 cards just stun pendulums to death, and I hate EM, so yeah, they're staple in every deck of these 4. And Bottomless is kind of like a half staple if you can fit it in. And then 2 Raidraptors Gusts. A lot of people run 1, but I like to run 2. The reason for that is spell and trap cards are very important to many decks in the game, and stopping something being activated in a pendulum scale, like a monkey board, or stopping, for example, Clash of the Draco Rivals, it can be very powerful to stop things like that. So I like to run 1. It's not searchable or anything, so I like to run 2, sorry, because it's not searchable, so if you run it at 1, you'll rarely see it, so I run it at 2, because you don't really want to open too many of them in case. But yeah. Onto the extra deck. Triple Strix. That's pretty standard. He's the search card of the deck. You overlay for rank 4, you detach, you search a new Raidraptor, you make another one, you detach, you search again, you thin the deck loads on your first turn, and then you have more chance of drawing into blowout cards like Twin Twister, Skip Force, Solar Notice, etc. I run 1 Abyss Dweller for the Cosmo matchup, because I hate their ships, so I run it for that mainly. You get the odd Burning Abyss player that this can work against as well, but usually I just run it for the Cosmo matchup. Castel, staple rank 4, spins a card to the deck if needed. Then we run 1 Zeraphine. I love Winged Beast decks for the reason that they can run this card. It negates every face-up card on the opponent's side of the field, and she gains 300 attack per face-up card. So you can negate things like pesky scale effects, you can negate contracts if you're playing against DDs, you can negate a monster effect that's boosting attack, for example. I had a game against Aragon the other day where he's using his super heavies and he had a 47,000 defense points QB, but I negated its effects and dropped its defense down to 2,500, allowing me to beat over it. So I really like Zeraphine. It's a really nice card to have in the deck. I run 1 Blaze Falcon. I wouldn't actually recommend running Blaze Falcon. I only run him in case I draw the Raid Force, in which case I can rank up the Strix. There's also the idea that you can use last Strix to get Blaze Falcon and then use Raid Force to rank him up into Revolution Falcon. So there's that. The only reason that I'm running him is just in case I draw this, because usually you want this in the deck for the Beatrice combo, which I'll get into when I reach Beatrice. So yeah, one Revolution Falcon. It kills a full field of Pepe and OTKs them, so that's great in my books. I love beating Pepe in 1 card, which is awesome. But other than that, it's a spot removal card, so you can destroy a card and inflict damage to your opponent, which can finish them off some games. It's like a Gaga Cowboy, I suppose, in that sense. But being able to attack everything and have their attack drop to 0, that's insane. That's really nice. Although it's a battle effect, so if they had back row, I'd probably not summon him right off the bat. I'd probably go for Infinity or something first. So yeah, Cyber Dragon Infinity. Summoned off Soul Shave Force really easily. So Soul Shave Force brings back Strix. Strix ranks up into Infinity, and you have Negation. I was running 2, but I kind of don't really have space for 2, and I never really went into the second usually. So I think 1's fine. I then run the 1 Beatrice, which I also used to run 2 of because of the OTK potential. I used to run 2 Raid Force as well. I dropped the second Beatrice and the second Raid Force, so I kept drawing into Raid Force, and you don't really want to draw it, you just want it in the deck. So that's why I've dropped down to 1 Beatrice from 2. But the combo of Beatrice is you need a Raidraptor in your hand, and that's the only requirement, and you need Soul Shave Force as well. You activate Soul Shave Force, and you summon back Strix. Strix ranks up into Beatrice. You detach the Strix from the Beatrice to dump Raid Force to your graveyard. You then activate Raid Force's effect, banishing the Raidraptor in your hand and it from the graveyard to grab back Soul Shave Force, which you can then use again to revive the Strix, and if you had the second Beatrice, make the second Beatrice, dump the second Raid Force, banish again, and then summon Infinity, and you have a big field of beaters that can you attack for 7,400 damage, I think I worked it out to be. But as well, if you have other Raidraptor summons, that's pretty much game. So that's why I was running that in originally was the 1 Cyber Dragon Infinity and double Beatrice, but I found I drew this too often. So it's nice to have the extra 2,500 damage. So that's why I'm running it. It's nice to get out 2 Shell Shave Forces in 1 turn. Next I'll run 2 Satellite Cannon Falcon for mainly last Strix and Skip Force to go into Ultimate Falcon. but also so that you can skip force into it via Revolution Falcon, and then you can nuke the opponent's back row if they're playing a very back row heavy deck. But yeah, it's an all-round great card. I actually really like it. It's also really good that it can detach and have your opponent lose opponent's monsters lose 800 attack for each Raidraptor in your graveyard, which can open some OTKs. Although I think Revolution Falcon kind of does that better because you can just attack them all and make them 0. So we have 2 Ultimate Falcon. Mainly we run 2 because of you can loop Lastrix with Nest, so you can do the Satellite Cannon skip force twice, but also because you can use Strix to make Ultimate Falcon and then rank up into 7 Sins, which kind of wastes a Falcon. So I run 2 just so that I have the second one, so I can still rank up into it if needed. And then I run the 1 7 Sins, which I go into if I have Lastrix but I don't draw a rank up card for it. Because otherwise Strix is dead in your hand, and you never want dead cards. You can always loop it back with Nest if you do get the rank up card later, but usually I'll summon Strix, I'll summon out Ultimate Falcon, and I'll rank up into 7 Sins. Obviously all in the main phase 2, because they don't inflict damage to the opponent, so I'd only ever summon this in the main phase 1 if I had to beat over something massive. Normally I'd go for like Tribute, and then Fuzzy, and then attack with Tribute and summon the Strix, and then in the main phase 2 overlay for Strix, and then use Strix to summon, use Last Strix, there's 2 Strixes, Last Strix to make Ultimate Falcon and go into 7 Sins. But 7 Sins is just there just in case I don't draw the rank ups, and it's a really nice 4000 body that the opponent has to kind of work around. The cards that I was considering running were originally Harpy's Harpist. I ran that in my original build of Raidraptors many moons ago, before I even started doing YouTube. It was really nice, but it's a bit slow nowadays, and it's quite difficult to dump into the graveyard. So I've opted not to run that anymore, obviously, because it's just way too slow. There's the second Last Strix, and possibly third, that I see a lot of people running because they want to turbo into this as fast as possible, but I don't see the point. That kind of just hurts the consistency of the deck. There's obviously the second Beatrice and the second Infinity that I've already talked about. Rank 5 monsters in general, in particular Volcasaurus and Zeriot. I can't pronounce that name. Zeriot. I can't pronounce it. Ice Princess. Use Ice Princess to make an opponent's monster's attack 0 was really nice. But obviously Revolution Falcon does that better, and you don't usually normal summon Mimicry to make everything level 5, sorry. So rank 5s have kind of gone from the deck besides Blaze Falcon. I used to run them a lot more when it was my old build. There's obviously Diamond Direwolf for spot removal, but I'm not really a huge fan of Diamond Direwolf because it makes you go -2 if you pop itself, and it makes you go 1-for-1 with your opponent if you pop one of your winged beasts. But usually you don't want to pop a winged beast, you don't have one left over usually. It's normally just double Strix that you have left over, and you kind of want to keep them for the search next turn if the opponent doesn't get rid of them. There's Rise Falcon. He's good, but obviously Revolution Falcon is practically the same card, and it does the job better, so I opted to lose the Rise Falcon for extra deck space. The second Raid Force, obviously for the Beatrice shenanigans, but I dropped it because I was drawing it too often, obviously. There was Unicorn Beacon. Now, I searched for cards related to winged beasts, and I kind of liked this card because you could summon back a Mimicry and get another search off it, or you could summon a card you've banished with Raid Force. But all in all, it was too slow, and I didn't really like it towards the end. It just looked like a great card, so I tried it out. It didn't work, so it's just there if you guys didn't know about it. It special summons a winged beast from your banished zone by removing from player a winged beast in your hand, so yeah, it's quite nice that. There's Death Double Force. I don't like this card. I know that it's searchable via Tribute Lanies if you can do destroy a monster, but it requires that your monster be destroyed in battle, and 9 times out of 10 nowadays, people don't really destroy cards in battle. They like to clear the field with effects and then attack you directly. So Double Death Force 9 times out of 10 is dead, and I really don't like that. So I've opted not to run Double Death Force or any of the other rank up magic cards for that fact, because a lot of them are a bit lackluster. The only reason I'm running Raid Force is just the recycle potential, which Necrovulture also does. So recycling is always good, but a dead one nah, I'm not going to run that. And then finally, another card I had in the deck was Icarus Attack, but I found that it's a bit slow, and Twin Twister kind of did it better. So yeah, I opted not to run Icarus Attack anymore. If I could make 2 more slots in the deck, I'd put in 2 Icarus Attack without a second thought. But the deck's pretty jam-packed as it is. I'd probably, if the format was a bit slower, I'd remove the Max Cs and I'd add in the 2 Icarus Attacks. But that's just my personal preference. So yeah, this has been my Raidraptors deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to bring up some duels with Raidraptors in the coming week or so, so stay tuned for that. If you guys have any suggestions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section below. Don't forget to give me a like, comment and subscribe if you want to. That'd be really appreciated. Thank you all for watching. This is Antimatter signing out. Peace.